Hey guys, what you see in front of me is some Kennedy rounds, some historic rounds I got in San Diego last year on my honeymoon with my wife, and absolutely love Kennedy. The reason why I have him out today is because he's one of my heroes, and I know people are gonna have their comments about him and everything else, but he's not perfect. No one's perfect. This is why what I love about Bitcoin and Satoshi Nakamoto, because nobody knows who he is, and you can't say anything bad about him because you don't know who he is. So Michael Francis made a video. He's a former gangster. And if you don't know him, if I pull up the video, you'll know him. And if you don't, Google him. He made an interesting video about Andrew Tate that I wanted to react to, and during the recent things that are going on today, with Tucker Carlson coming out showing the January 6th stuff and everything that's going on, I want to do this as a reminder of why we need to stand up in a nonviolent way, of course, and not let these people do these things to us. Regardless if you like or dislike Andrew Tate, I feel like what they're doing to him is wrong, absolutely wrong. And if this is one of your friends or family members or something like that, I feel like you think the same way. So let's see what great Michael Francis has to say about Andrew Tate.
When the government gets involved in trying to shut you down and prevent you from having freedom of speech, this is the first step in anarchy, the first step in communism. Trust me when I say that. Hey everyone, welcome to another Sit Down with Michael Francis. Hope everybody is doing well. All is very good, very blessed on this end. And as always, I give God all the praise, honor, and glory for that. I hope you've seen Jesus Revolution. If you haven't, go and see it. Great film. We need a revolution in this country, that's for sure. A revolution back to God.
Amen to that. This is what I love about this man. I mean, he was a guy that was really into some things that a lot of people wouldn't like, but he turned his life around and now he's all about God. Now, again, I'm not trying to get all religious or preaching to anybody or something like that, but this country has gotten away from that. You know what I mean? And this man was about God, John F. Kennedy. Absolutely loved him. Again, he wasn't perfect, but what he stand for, I'm all for. And I'm definitely excited for you guys to see this video because he really breaks it down. I love Michael Francis, and I love Andrew Tate, man. And what they're doing to him, in my opinion, is wrong.
I'm going to give you an Andrew Tate update today. Now, a lot of people are wondering, why do I keep doing this? Because I'm interested in this case. I know Andrew. We've had conversations. And I think I've made my feelings known. I believe what's happening to him is wrong. 100% wrong. I don't like the system in Romania. I don't like the fact that they are being held without bail in detention now, going on a third month with no charges being filed at all. I don't like the way they're feeding the media and the press everything to try to, put a negative spin on all of this. They're saying things, and so far they don't have anything to back it up. A lot of people are coming out, well, he said this and he said that, on social media. That's not criminal activity. You don't get locked up and detained for something like that. We need to see charges, and we haven't seen them yet. And it's very obvious to me the fact that they're holding them in detention. And another development was the two girls, by the way, that are being held with them were let out on house arrest last week. And the government, the prosecution, appealed that, and now they're back in prison. Now, why did they do that? These two women were going to be under house arrest. They're not a flight risk. Why are they holding them in detention? The real charges are against Andrew and his brother. Are these women that much of a threat? No, it's obvious they're trying to break these women. They want them to cooperate. They want them to become informants.
I agree with that 100%. That's exactly why they got them. They're two of the Andrew and Tristan's assistants. They didn't do anything wrong. They have no charges against them. But again, they feel like women are weak and they can break them. You know what I mean? And I got people in my inbox telling me I'm riding his nuts, talking about Andrew Tate and this, that, and the third. You can say what you want, man. But again, I'll be the first one to stand up. If he did these things and I find out, I'll say, hey, man, I was wrong. He did that to these women, but there's no charges. You know what I mean? They're in there for no reason. It's crazy.
And in my view, they're keeping Andrew and Tristan in lockdown like this because, number one, they don't want them on the outside being able to help themselves because they have the wherewithal to hire investigators and attorneys and do the right thing to help themselves. That's number one. Number two, they're hoping that maybe they'll take a plea, that they've had enough of detention in Romania, because these are tough jails. And to me, I'm sorry. I know people say, well, Michael, it's not America, it's Romania. So what? If it's wrong, it's wrong. They should be out on bail. They haven't been charged yet. They're eligible for bail.
Exactly. So what? Who cares? They don't have any charge on them. It doesn't matter if it's America, this and the third. We all need to stick together. Of course, Americans want to stick together with Americans and stuff like that. But this is a world thing now. This is a global thing, ladies and gentlemen. And what's going on here is an absolute travesty. You know what I mean? Again, people saying, oh, it's Romania law, this and the third. Who gives a shit? It's wrong. It doesn't matter what country it is. These guys are from America. You know what I mean? We should be standing up for these dudes.
They're saying they're a flight risk? Really? These are the two best-known guys on the planet now, next to maybe Mike Tyson. Who doesn't know them? Where are they going to go? Where are they going to run? Where are they going to hide? There's nowhere to go. They're not a flight risk. So, and look, you got to understand where I'm coming from. I've seen what law enforcement can do. I've seen what the government can do. As a matter of fact, coming up on one of my next videos, you're going to see, I'm going to give you 10 instances where innocent people were framed by law enforcement. And not only police on the street, yes, the FBI, yes, prosecutors, yes, the Department of Justice. It happens here in the United States.
Absolutely happens here in the United States. Of course it does. Again, guys, look what happened to people from January 6th. You know what I mean? I gotta watch my mouth, but Kevin McCarthy gave Tucker the video, and it came out, and as you can see, the guy was just walking around with the police officers, getting escorted around the building. Why aren't everybody standing up and going, hey man, this is BS? Now I don't know exactly his charges and stuff like that, but it wasn't what the media was saying. And this is why I'm making this video, man. That guy was in the Navy. I was in the Navy. That's my Navy brother, man. You know what I mean? But he got 41 months for getting escorted around a building? Come on now.
And when you're in Romania, where the laws are that much, more against you, come on, this is wrong. Because you don't like somebody, because you don't like the way they talk, you don't put them in jail. You don't take, all their assets away. You don't do that. Let's see some charges. Maybe I'll change my tune. I doubt it, but I'm willing to see. If there's evidence against them with all the allegations that they're making, if they have any evidence to support that, well, I'll take a look at it.
And so will I. If I see the evidence, I'll say, hey, I was wrong. I'm sorry, he did R-word those women and did that. But trust me, I've been following these guys for a while. They didn't do that. And then the haters, the wokesters, the feminists, and these little, boy, whatever. They're happy that he's in jail. They don't know any of the charges or nothing. But the media has already made them guilty before they were innocent. And the media said that. And since he's in jail and they don't like him, hey, he must be guilty. And this is what the media does. Same thing with Chuck Schumer. He came out and told you what to see on January 6th. Said that Tucker was lying to you. Lying about what? The video that he was showing? Come on, man.
It is what it is. But this is wrong. And I want to read this article that this is the latest that came out on it. And just listen to the spin they put on this. Andrew Tate seeks to recruit right-wing politicians to his cause wiretap show. Well, why do they put it that way? If he's recruiting politicians, look, I know, I've been in jail. My father did 40 years. We tried to get help from anywhere and everyone that we could because my father was framed. And Andrew and Tristan are claiming that they're framed. So you reach out to anybody. The wiretaps that they had didn't say that they did anything illegal. If they're asking somebody to reach out to somebody that might be able to help them, but they write it up like this. He seeks to recruit right-wing politicians. Like there's something wrong with Republicans or people that are conservative that maybe would take a different look at this. Maybe they're not woke, I don't know, but just the way they write it up, you can see what they're doing to these two men.
They write it up like that because they're talking to their base. They're not talking to me and you because we know better. It's all the lefters, the wokesters, the crazies. When we see somebody, regardless if we like them or not, they're innocent until proven guilty. Doesn't matter if we like them or not. Doesn't matter. But what they're doing is they're trying to brainwash you into think there's somebody on the right. And by the way, I'm an American. I'm on the red, white, and blue team. I'm not on the blue or the red team. I'm all about America and about this Constitution and men like this here. And they make you think because you're a left winger, Trump is bad, right wingers are bad, they're conservative, they're racist, all they care about is big businesses and stuff. So when they say a right winger, meaning he's a bad guy, right people on the right are bad. I mean, it's all about the spin, ladies and gentlemen. It's all about the spin.
Bucharest, Andrew Tate has sought to fight rape and trafficking allegations, not charges, while in police custody, directing associates to recruit two right-wing lawmakers to his cause, according to wiretaps of his phone calls submitted to the court by Romanian prosecutors. The internet celebrity instructed two associates to tell the Romanian politicians, can't pronounce their names, George and Diana, that he was being framed and supporting him would be very good for their careers, according to one of the exchangers. Nothing wrong with saying that. If he is being framed and they can help prove that, or they support him in that regard, there's nothing wrong with that. And yeah, it would be. When you right a wrong, it should be good for your career. So what did Andrew say wrong? But they write it as if something is being said, something shady, something underhanded. And it's not true.
Again, it's all about the spin. Because if any of them were in jail, people that's writing this, they'd be saying the same thing. You do anything you can to get out, especially if you know you're innocent. If you know for a fact you're innocent, you didn't do anything. Again, let me remind you guys, there are no charges against these guys. Everything you hear is what they're saying that allegedly they did. Did you see the women that came out and said, they said that I was a victim and stuff like that, and they come out and say we're not victims. we're not the victims. They're our friends. We love them. One of them dated Andrew or Tristan or whatever. They, a couple girls dated them and stuff. You know what I mean? Have you seen the women that these guys been with? These guys were kicking out women. They weren't freaking taking women for hostage. They did this because they were trying to wake up young men. Who is the most dangerous people to these elites? Guys like us, based men, guys that are based that know better, that have this stuff and have this and have the pew-pews and have the right mindset and strong-willed and can't be broken. They're trying to change the transgenders and everything else into the weak people. And they're trying to make women strong so that women can be, stronger than the men and the men be weak and not having sex with their wife and, miserable and all this other stuff. They're doing this on purpose. They're trying to blow up the nuclear family. Why do you think they're doing that?
You will get a lot of votes when Tate says you took their side. The former kickboxer said in the January 28th call to two of his associates. Transcriptions of the wiretap calls are included in a previously unpublished court document dated February 21st, compiled by Bucharest court officials and reviewed by Reuters. Simeon, a politician in Romania's lower house, told Reuters he had never been contacted by Tate or his associates and wouldn't publicly support Tate if he was asked to. Okay, that's all right. Asked if he thought Tate had been framed, he replied, rightfully so. The justice system will decide, not politicians. That's a good answer. A spokesperson for the other one, Diana, a senator, said the wiretap conversations were lies designed to attack her. I don't know why they're attacking her if he's reaching out asking for help to support what he believes is a frame-up. How are they attacking her? The wiretap calls were made between January 28th and January 31st, according to prosecutors, about a month after Tate was detained with his 34-year-old brother Tristan on suspicion of rape, human trafficking, and forming an organized crime group.
Again, guys, suspicions. There's no evidence. So why are they being locked up, can't talk to their lawyer, can't get bail, can't do anything, putting them under the jail, basically? These are terrible jails, man. For allegations?
I really want to see what this organized crime group is all about. I really do, because so far I've seen nothing. And neither has anybody else. It's all been conversation, no charges. The brothers have denied all the charges. Reuters was unable to reach them in police detention for comment. Contacted about the wiretap calls, Tate's lawyer and a spokesperson for the prosecutors both declined to comment on an ongoing investigation. That's normal. Reuters couldn't independently verify the identity of the people in the wiretap calls or determine if any lobbying of politicians took place. And if there was, what's wrong with that? If you're being framed, if you're being held in detention, unfairly, what's wrong with reaching out to anybody that you can reach out to try to get some help and support? Obviously, the courts are against them. The prosecution is against them. They're trying to turn public opinion against them without filing any charges. And there's been stuff, women have come out and said that were allegedly kidnapped, that they weren't kidnapped, that they were there, by their free will. So there's a lot of stuff going on, and we still don't have any charges. So why shouldn't they reach out? I would have got to any politician to try to help my dad get out of prison for the 40 years that he did for a crime that he didn't commit. And there are a lot of people that get framed. Not everybody in prison is guilty, trust me, okay? I spend enough time, in prison, visiting prison. I still visit prisons. Not everybody is guilty. Okay, law enforcement doesn't always act fairly, and the system doesn't always work properly. So they have every right to express themselves at this point, especially when no charges have been filed.
Couldn't have said it better myself. This is why I'm reacting to this video. He's saying everything that I'm saying, and I'm sure you guys are saying too. Again, regardless if you like Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate or what they said or the misogynist or whatever, who gives a shit? This is absolutely wrong. Again, I'm doing this not just for Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate. I'm doing this for the guy that's locked up for the January fix day and everything else, and all these other people. What happened to the BLM people? Why are they not locked up? You know what I mean? Again, it's not fair. It's not fair and balanced. I know people that went to jail for no reason. You know what I mean? But again, it's innocent until proven guilty. I get it. It's Romania. It's another country. But at the end of the day, we're all connected. We're all brothers and sisters. And this is absolutely wrong. You know what I mean? It's absolutely ridiculous. Look what they did to the police officer on January 6th with Tucker Carlson, the African-American guy who wore the Make America Great hat. And then the black girl who orchestrated all this stuff and did the bad stuff, but the black guy that did the good stuff got fired, and now he's doing a BS job. You know what I mean? And they don't want to hear from him because he knows the truth, and it goes against the narrative. It just pisses me off, man.
British-American Tate, who has been based mainly in Romania since 2017, is an online influencer. We know that. The wiretap calls offer a window into his multi-pronged attempts to defend himself while in detention. Efforts that stretch beyond the courtroom into the realms of politics and social media. Go for it, Andrew. Every which way you can to help defend yourself. When you know you're innocent, you got to go for it, because it's obviously, right now, the cards are stacked against you. He's got to do whatever he can do. His lawyer, that also one of his attorneys also represented Mike Tyson. Do you know that she can't even visit him privately? That all their visits are recorded? So the prosecution is hearing all the conversation between your lawyer and a defendant? I've never heard of that. Here in America, of course, you're talking to your lawyer. You're trying to defend yourself. You're coming up with a strategy. You're talking about things. You don't want the prosecution to know that so that they can try to, use it against you in some way or defend what it is you're trying to say, especially a prosecution like this in Romania. This is terrible what's going on. Again, understand this, the lawyer is not allowed to speak privately to their client. Everything is recorded. So the prosecution, law enforcement knows everything that's going on between an attorney and a client. There's no privilege. I've never heard of anything like this. How are these poor guys going to defend themselves?
I couldn't have said it better again. How are they going to defend themselves? If you did a crime, even if you're guilty, you're a mass murderer, you killed 20 people or whatever, you can't talk to your lawyer in private? You got the district attorney or the people that are trying to go against you recording all your private attorney-client conversations. So that way, whatever you say, nothing's in private. So they can just, fight against you. It's almost like being a football coach and going inside their huddle or going inside their practice and knowing everything they're going to say. You can't lose that way. And that's what they're doing. They're doing everything that's not supposed to be done in this case. And again, you guys know why. You know what I mean? So for people to tell me, oh, man, you just love Andrew Tate, it ain't about that, man. We got to stand up against this shit.
Also in the January 28th call detailed in the court document, Tate directs his associate Luke to release party clips on social media that he said shows at least one of his alleged trafficking victims dancing in Bucharest. Yes, put them everywhere and say this girl says she's kidnapped when she's not kidnapped, Tate says. What's wrong with that? What else can he do? They're making false allegations against him, according to him, so he's trying to disprove that while he's in detention. What's wrong with that? Go for it, Andrew.
Absolutely. Luke is a good guy. He's like the guy from GTA 5. He's Andrew and Tristan's cousin. Basically what they're saying is, hey, go out there and make videos of them telling the truth. You know what I mean? Of the girls. That they're not the victims, that they haven't been R word, they haven't been captured, they're not hostages and stuff like that. Again, what is wrong with that? You're not letting them do anything else?
You're saying you want me to discredit them, have social media pull hard? Yes, asked Luke. Yes, Tate replies. The court document records the minutes of a Bucharest court hearing on February 21st, when the judge extended the Tate's detention until late March. Every 30 days, he's extending it again, as well as evidence submitted by the prosecutors who allege the brothers ran a human trafficking operation focused on creating online pornography. Well, let me ask you this. If they're submitting evidence to the court, where are the charges? This is evidence, but it's not strong enough evidence to file a charge? Doesn't make sense. I don't care what court it is, it doesn't make sense. This is a kangaroo court.
But again, in this country, in this world, when you're talking about the lefties and the wokesters and the idiots that fall for all this stuff that's going on, when they'll see a tape of the January 6th stuff, they'll see the guy walking around, they'll see all this stuff, but they'll still say, oh, he's guilty and Donald Trump's a racist, even though he never say anything racist. Oh, Brandon is a good president, he's doing good, just because they tell them that. In those papers, again, he read what it said. It said the allegations are this, the allegations are that. No charges. So anybody with a brain would say, oh, you know what? They're not charged. So I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, well, the newspaper said this would happen, so this must would have happened. Oh, my God, we're living in a world full of idiots, man.
Alexandra Risnita, another lawyer for the Tates, dismissed suggestion that the brothers were a flight risk, of course, if released from custody while the investigation progressed, the minutes show. He said it would be very hard for his clients to travel unnoticed because they were, quote, the most famous people on the planet at this moment, and he's right. You know, what's going on here, people, is just terrible. I don't care if you like Andrew or if you don't like Andrew. You know, I always say this. When you give the government, you give the prosecution an inch, they take a yard, and they never give it back. They never give it back. The more of your freedom they take away, the more they're going to want, the less freedom you're going to have, and they'll never give it back. And that goes for the United States, too.
Definitely goes for the United States, too. Again, my channel is all about freedom, right? And we partly do it through decentralized assets, silver and Bitcoin and stuff like that, to get our sovereignty, smaller government, and because the government's supposed to be working for us. These police officers are supposed to be working for us. But now they're slowly cooking us in a pot like frogs. They'll take this freedom away. They'll take this little bit, a little bit, a little bit. They don't give it back to you. They just nibble at the freedom. And if America was the word freedom, we'd only have a little bit left compared to 1776. You know what I mean? And again, he's absolutely right. They're not going to give it back. They're going to take a little bit, a little bit, a little bit, because it's all about control. You know what I mean? These people print our money. That's why we have the real money. They're trying to steal our time. They're trying to steal our wages. They try to steal our freedom and everything else. You know what I mean? He's absolutely right, man.
People believe that. This attack on our freedom of speech, it's the first step in trying to control you. When you can't voice your opinion in opposition of the party in control right now, or the party that's trying to get in control, there's a real problem with that. When they try to close you down and shut you down, like they have been for the past several years on social media, Elon Musk proved it, when the government gets involved in trying to shut you down and prevent you from having freedom of speech, this is the first step in anarchy, the first step in communism. Trust me when I say that. And look, I don't care who it is, whether it's Republican, Democrat, Independent, they can't shut us down. We have a right to talk. That's a basic truth of our Constitution that we can never lose sight of.
Absolutely love it. The Constitution, ladies and gentlemen. I know the Constitution is not in Romania, and I get that. But basic human rights, it doesn't matter where you're at. And he said everything that we say, man. You know what I mean? He's spot on. If you continue and allow these people to do this to us, Oh my gosh, man. Let him finish up. He's almost done, and then we'll wrap it up.
So look, I'm going to voice my opinion. I don't care if you disagree with me. It's up to you. We disagree respectfully. But until there is any evidence that I see of any kind of allegation that's being lodged against these young men, they're innocent until proven guilty. And what's happening to them now is a travesty of justice. You don't detain people without charges. You can't do that in the United States. You shouldn't be able to do it in Romania. It's a kangaroo court there. I'm sorry, unfortunately, that's the country that they're in, and that's allegedly the laws. I don't know. I don't know if they're violating their own laws or not. But whatever, you know what? Andrew and Tristan and these two women are in my prayers, and I certainly hope it works out for them. That's my feeling.
And that's my feeling too. They're all in my prayers. Everyone that is unjustly locked up, the people from the January fix and all over this country that got their basic rights taken away. Hey, I'm praying for all of us, man. All of them and all of us, and for the future of our children, man. This is why I do this. This is why I fight so hard. You know what I mean? This is why I love this stuff. It's written in the Constitution. They don't make them like this guy anymore. Thank you so much, Michael, for making that video. Go check it out. I'll leave the link in the description box. But let me know what you guys think, man. I pretty much said all my thoughts and everything he said. I couldn't have said it better than him. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Again, guys, we got to stand up to this shit. And again, in a non-violent way, we got to stand up and say, look, man, we're not taking this shit no more. We're not taking it anymore, because I'm not taking it anymore, period. End of story. And I'll fight to my dying breath, and I hope you guys feel the same way. I'll talk to you soon. I love each and every one of you. Keep your head on the swivel. God bless you and yours, and God bless this country. And I'll talk to you soon. Peace and love.